nuke over before it even felt like it really started. A masterclass performance from Heroic on their map choice, but you would have to be a damn fool to think this final's over, because the two maps that we have left are the two maps CR4ZY beat Avantgarde on to get themselves to this final.
A key point, and this is bread and butter for CR4ZY. Like, yes. With all of their lineups, they love Mirage. They're going to be great on it, and it's one of those maps. One of the most popular maps in the pool, one of the most popular maps in FPL. You know, players like Ships who come into this from FPL are going to love to be able to make individual plays, and you're definitely not going to see the amount of people that got shot in the side of the head on Nuke.
Right.
On Mirage.
Yeah,
that just will not happen.
No, they're going to be removing the layers, the complexity. We peel back the onion to just its core in this case, right? And at the core of Counter-Strike, we've got headshots.
Yeah, but we'll
nobody better than Esperanto at times. And this, to me, is his home map. When he was playing and kind of breaking out, Esperanto was the key piece to their Mirage. And then again, we saw that kind of falter off a bit, but since the space has been recreated from them, he's been dropping 30 kills here, you know? A wise man, Tom Biz, once told me, if Esperanto doesn't have 20 kills on Mirage, it's because he has 30. And I repeat that, because it really does seem to happen every time. A little bit of magic on the CR4ZY side, and maybe that's what they need, because they've got to be feeling the sting after map 1, but it's not nearly over. So let's go into map 2 of the Rotterdam finals.
And this is actually the map that I did the demo review of Esperanto on.
That's a great place for it.
Yeah.
It's going to start with the smokes, the double smokes, over towards the top of stairs and the jungle cross. So really just pressure on Borup here to maybe take a couple scalps before he's dropped himself, but nothing happens. This is going to be the 10-man bomb plant. There's a huge CT retake about to emerge. A flashbang from Emmy's just thrown over, so they're going to try to take the initiative, but everyone's regained vision, so it's a straight-up gun duel with so many players, and headshot! All Heroics headshots! Ships falls back to ramp. He's got cover for a post plant, but he has no clue where his teammates have gone. An easy pistol win for Heroic.
Wow.
A la Norm, seeing as they have picked up so many throughout this event.
Yeah, and it just speaks to how good they are at pistols in general, but like this is a play that happens all the time where you have the overstack and CT spawn, you try to push in with your teammates, and then you just see if you can hit your USB shots, and you almost never see it go that one-sided, and with that many Ts going down that quickly. So that's obviously just some really sharp shooting from Heroic, some confidence in their play. They're rolling over the momentum from Nuke into Mirage, and they picked up another pistol round. It's just such a daunting stat. I mean, I think that'll be one of the most impressive stats that'll be universally interesting for people who maybe didn't watch the tournament or haven't watched anything outside of like tier 1 events. You know, to see Heroic run through this on the rise, and if they actually do take this series, the fact that they've won something like 75 or 80 or whatever % of their pistols across the tournament, I don't know if anybody's ever done that.
Ridiculous pistols, and also a specialized map pool right at the birth of this team. You know, we saw a Nuke, not just a convincing win, but with such beautiful variation in their play that they are contenders. I mean, it's in their blood, the Danes and Nuke. But this anti-force buy starts well. CR4ZY come in with the 2 Kriegs. Esperanto, he had that scout for top mid, but it's already been peeled off.
Strong CT side would be awesome for Heroic, but I actually think CR4ZY do fantastically well on their CT side as well, so I'm not going to call this one too soon. Borup out here with his teammate Tag in the window. Kind of somewhat cross-firing. Tag can't exactly help him, apart from cure him from having to worry about top mid. Here he is, just forward focused. Tag's going to look to clean up another eco kill. He gets that one as well, 2 up. And I say eco, but they have forced up. They've spent money on their armor. And these are the 2 last players they've got SIG. So the pawns are down on the round for CR4ZY, but since it's 2v5, these SGs are so much weaker.
I haven't been able to find any impact, but here's one.
Oh, could it be a 2?
Yes, could be. He just needs to land the shot. It's an MP9, and that's easily bested. Ships looking to keep going, but Otto has to return for the bomb, and a clean headshot onto Borup puts us right into the 2 versus 2. That's a 2v5, and Snappy,
what?
That's a mistake. He crawls through.
Okay, they don't know where Tag is, but that's interesting. Okay, the smokes might lure him back. Or will they? Yeah, he's thinking about it. This is a honeypot. We've got a player waiting on the site. You've got 2 smokes down, but it's all a ruse. And STag's not hearing maybe another set of footsteps cross or the bomb going down, so he seems worried about B. However, he's changed his mind. The bomb gets planted, and that's it. The ship has sailed. There's no way that they're going to be able to win this round, and it's all because of Ships' nice bait and amazing 4Ps.
There we go. I mean, I feel like Ships was so avoided on Nuke at the beginning of the game because he was playing ramp. You know, he was used as that solo player the same way he was used on Train yesterday. But funnily enough, that was the other bad performance from Ships, was when he was left to his own in a portion of the map that wasn't necessarily pressured. Put him on the offense, and he's just taking heads clean off. A huge way for CR4ZY to bounce back. Again, buying in with a scout, 2 Kriegs, falling to the 2v5, and still walking with that second win. Incredible.
Incredible, for sure. Walk up into B halls, full buy up for CR4ZY, obviously. They even retained the 2 SIGs from last round that they put all their eggs into. Stone's now on the flank. Yeah, he's got a great gun for this. The Snappy can't really help him out either. He goes down, some damage dealt. Nice body shot through the wall. And he remains a threat on the big flank. Bomb can get planted, but there's CTs everywhere.
Yep. Reload knows. Oh! Close and still. Stound keeps this going. He's going to get his hands onto the full-fledged rifle and set up his team in a 4v3. And these terrorists, they're so far removed, especially Esperanto here towards short. He's got to stay alive. Emmy's activated off the flashbang. Good bit of team play within the bomb site, and they start to take the numbers back. But STag, he's going to find one with a weapon fumbling his hands. The AK into the mix. Sound removed now, and it's just on Borup. He too toppled as CR4ZY will convert for the 2-1 lead.
They fall on their feet. I like how Heroic played it. You got to appreciate Stan's impact. And the fact that he got that first kill, the second one was much harder. Definitely couldn't or shouldn't have gotten it, but he still did. And then even with all of that going on and all of those options starting to open up, no one got anti on Heroic. We had Borup who was sitting on Cat, and he didn't turn around the corner. He waited a long time, ends up losing the duel, and Esperanto kind of saves CR4ZY at the end with that 2K. But overall, they gave it their best shot, and it was a really good one. So here it is now. The T's will, after cleaning up that round just barely, move into this one, moving up Cat. They are slightly spread out. The bomb is moving up behind one player, and there's one in B apps. Ships might be able to collect some ADR here.
The money, money, money! 4 from Ships. It's just a massacre. STag tries to jump with the Shiv, and it's just not going to work. Dude, you see that one kneecap sticking out of smoke. Yeah. The chicken leg gives it all away.
Yeah, he just blew up the anthill, right?
Yeah.
Doused it in gasoline, lit it on fire. Here it is.
I'll take that check, please.
Unreal.
What's his cash at, just for the fun of it? He spends $6.4 thousand and still has 1,800.
Yeah, but he only has 249 ADR.
Oh,
so
amateur.
Really slacking.
Into the gun rounds will go, and STag wins a quick spam fight towards mid, so it's going to be a breath of fresh air until Esperanto sucks it from his lungs and then just crawls back through Palace all the way into spawn. A hit and run. Maybe a boost too into the mix.
He's not done.
Ships has just been stellar in this jungle window foray. Cadian, aggressive up on ramp, cuts off one side of this attack. Now they can turn their attention entirely onto Connector, and that puts Borup in a great spot, but he's wary of the flank. And Stound doesn't want to necessarily leave B because they haven't spotted the entirety of CR4ZY, not the numbers.
Yeah, they actually, CTs do have good coverage. He's watching the back of window, so he can call it to rotate. Nade goes a bit too high and over. Cadian's
tucked.
Gonna be hard to find, yeah. Borup.
He waits.
Come down to you, man.
Shadow advantage. He sees it, but still Emmy takes his head off. Now Cadian's gonna drop that bomb, peek in for the second. He's gonna get pressured by Letney up close, and still Ships sails into sight with bomb on his back. And only Stound to deal with. He doesn't even plant. Another huge multi-kill in a very important round.
I made a passing joke about his ADR. He's 12-3 right now, and I'd like to get an update on where he's at, because that's not only the 4K on the eco, it's the 4K in the 2v5, and it's also, yeah, he's still 254 ADR 5 runs in. That is no joke. That is no joke whatsoever. And the craziest part is they got Raffle stomped on Nuke. You know, that he has every reason in the world to have lost confidence in both himself and his team, and the mood could be bad, but it doesn't really matter for him. He's clearly not phased whatsoever.
Well, we saw that great interview with Emmy yesterday after they got past that really rough train game I keep referencing. And he said after the match when they won, like, you know, we're still fresh. Like, we're not perfect. We know that. We can get over these humps. Like, you know, one map of adversity isn't going to break us.
Yeah.
You know, that level of resilience from CR4ZY is something we know they have now. It's not as though they are the fresh face in the open circuit. They've been here time again. So...
Right. Yeah, and him, you know, they've kind of got that respawn armor where because they haven't played that much, they can be a little bit more fair with their losses.
Yeah.
So that's a good mentality to have, and one you should keep no matter what, no matter how long you've been playing together. Here's a good kill. Ships out of the round. No way for him to farm the Dar on this one. It is an eco, but it's 5v4 now for Heroic.
And it's really good positioning from the CTs. They've got that palace control with Cadian. T's seem aware of it as they mollied it off for their bomb plant, and they're going to fall into the jungle/connector post plant here. Bombs on the base of the triple stack. This will be a crucial one to hold, but Snappy bests him. Now, Emmy's inside of the bomb site, so he knows he has to fight to the death. Now the post plant comes in. This is what's supposed to bear fruit for CR4ZY, but it's auto still 1 versus 2. And the CT is already on this site. Snappy's close with lower health, and Cadian's tap gets that peek out. Now he needs the duel! Oh! And no way, just no time!
That's beautiful. I mean, that's a beautiful shot. I mean, you wish he had a kit because there's no way that once he's off of that, once he peaks that one time, that he's ever going to give him another chance like that. It's incredible reaction speed, honestly, from Cadian. Really, really nicely done, but ultimately it's only a nice try. CR4ZY cleaned it up, and they're doing to Heroic what Heroic did to them on Nuke. On what should be a much less specialized map, one that's kind of a great equalizer among teams. One that you wouldn't normally be able to stomp another team on.
We've got a change up in the defense though, Mo. Double op setup hits the board.
A really smart decision. Something popularized by SK, like, you know, on MLG Columbus, we all remember. And it's a good adjustment when you're losing, because you can kind of turn the brain off a little bit, let your ops do the work. Staun's going to be the first one to put a bullet in the chest of Emmy and make this round a whole lot easier. Damage dealt, some invisible damage dealt to Letny in the back, and they still seem to be postured up to look for a fight here, but it doesn't exactly look promising.
Sparano clears it. Esatag, no more. The barrel of the gun gives him away to Borup. Attempted at the flick. Still in the mix. Letny gets the entry on the B site. Now he's going to create that space for Bomb to come up catwalk. If it gets into the gunfight, then poor Stown's going to be blindsided. Despite having that op, he focuses close smoke, and he even bests him. Now that smoke becomes his friend. He has cover from Otto, who then falls to Borup. Another blindside, but there's one that could remain. Ships, who has so actively come from jungle, gets into this 1v3 clutch attempt. With 30 seconds, he flies through the window, and he knows the Opera's back here. He's got an isolated fight, but he doesn't have the bomb, and he knows that Cadian's coming. It's a matter of time, but the barrel through the wall gives him all the info he needs, so now it's 1v1. He doesn't know where exactly this last player comes from. And it's an Opera from Cadian on the peak. It's all he needs.
You saw the red dot.
The top fragger from Nuke continues on through. Mirage is another playground.
Oh my goodness gracious. Even playing with Staun, I mean, I'm sure he had him scared. Cowering behind the bench, not sure what side he should peek on. Nade coming in at him. His teammate dies earlier on from this flank. Man, Ships is just incredible right now. This is so cool to watch. This is so cool to watch. Yeah, Cadian stopping him hard in his tracks, really important. I mean, he saves this follow-up round, obviously, one that they're going to be able to buy, have some money left over. CR4ZY also has enough for everything they want, which is good. We're having an even fight here in the rifle round. What are we looking at?
14-5, 7 rounds into the game.
Yeah. Yeah, we see this often, and, you know, oftentimes it slows down. It doesn't feel like it's going to slow down with this one, though.
Ooh.
He's being not only as accurate as the best of them,
yeah,
he's being as efficient. He's also being just incredibly smart with the way that he's approaching these fights. And we could see it there, which is how close he made that 1v3.
Ship's already through mid. I mean, no fear at all on this kid.
Oh, he's not slowing down whatsoever. We don't know if this was called at all, but he gets killed, and now it's 4v3.
Yeah. down within the mix of the B site. He took one off of the apartments, and Otto hasn't been able to counter-op anyone here. There are 2 defenders. Stound's gonna put up some temporary cover, play through it. Molly goes deep into the apps. Emmy still pushes onwards. And Stound's relegated to the back of bench. He's so restricted in his movement, and yet he stays alive. Emmy sees his head. Take him out. He will. Esperanto simultaneous frag pushes Borup into a clutch attempt now. Can this young gun give like Ships did? No. Cut down by Otto. And crazy. 4-round lead.
Yeah, they play it fast. Ships only gets the single kill when he comes up to Cat to get that frag. But that seems to be all they needed.
Sure enough,
We saw in that previous round, they almost went in with a 4-man rush through B-Apps before getting any information. So clearly they're trying to play loose and play a little bit more quickly. It's working well against Heroic. They can try it again. They're going up against Deagles this time. It's basically a full save for Heroic.
Okay, not his.
Yeah. Yeah, just apply a little bit of Windex and clean that area.
I'm so ready to ride his hype train that we're giving him kills he didn't work for. Easy, breezy anti-eco. Ships slaughters on the A site. I have to say, I love that he's just been like spearheading the offense, you know? All of his big plays have been coming through either connector to jungle or A to jungle, through the window, through the murder hole, flanks on market. Like, you know, he's playing in the nitty gritty of the Mirage map. It's not quite Nuke with the ladders.
Okay.
What do these kids have for breakfast?
I don't know, man. Definitely ate their Wheaties.
Gonna miss the spam shots, and Crazy still moves to a 5-round lead, but Heroic, plenty of cash to come in back with a buy.
But yeah, they're moving quick. They're all hidden shots. Again, I think this Blaster playstyle just fitting their motives right now. Nice round from Otto as well.
That was a part of it. Even on Nuke, they had to play to the pace of Heroic, who started on the offense.
That's right. And I was already talking about at the beginning of this half, like, they had some great CT side adjustments when it came to their CT side on Mirage versus Avantgarde. We have yet to see that even. As a tag low in this round, good spray. They get some info. It's not really worth much.
Yeah.
But this will allow them to move forward and induce some fear into the CTs. They throw a lot of grenades to the top boxes. There's no one there.
See how fast Esperanto runs back out top mid? He did it last round with a 1-tap instantly and tries his hand yet again.
Oh, there's actually 2 ops here. Left side site.
One of them pays off. Now, it's going to be a tough job for Crazy to get past. They do still have the smokes and the Molotovs, but they weren't down before they presented themselves to the snipers. Ships in through again. Look at the way he just dismantles this defense, but he has left a player behind. Although tucking into this corner puts Cadian into an awful spot. He's still exposed, though. A double for Cadian. He throws himself forward, not dealing with Ships. Let him play around. There's nothing for him to do, no one for him to take. And his teammate Emmy's now dead in mid, so Ships has to come in with a massive clutch, but they know where he got off to. Heroic take a third.
Ships needed to help there. Cadian was top of stairs. He got 2 shots off from the top of stairs. Ships didn't even take a peek. He was waiting for a push from window. Seemed to be very confident about it, but look what's going on right now. I mean, Cadian has free reign when there's a player right behind him. Molotov wasn't even good for Ships. He definitely needed to try to help his team there. That would have been big for them to cross the site, for him to be in jungle, and for them to take out anybody that's left on connector. But we don't know exactly what he heard, and maybe he was really concerned about the murder hole, thought for sure someone was going to come through. Either way, Crazy still have this really big lead, and that was an extremely hectic round that Heroic had to deal with. They took a lot of early damage.
Yeah.
Even Ston in the window took a late grenade from Emmy underpass. They got the spray down on a player on Cat. It was unclear exactly what Crazy wanted to do from Heroic's perspective, and you could see that in the way that they rotated with the 2 ops behind on the left side of site. Like, that's not exactly who you want to be helping each other.
Right.
2 ops don't synergize that well. But they still made it work because of Cadian's heads up opping.
Big triple wall of smokes from Crazy in mid early. But of course, we do have Snappy exploring it from Cat, which means he knows this is more of a pump fake than anything else. They throw the frag grenade to the bottom of connector, trying to preemptively soften up Crazy. But Letney does get into the window. Now, his teammate throws a Molotov so that the CTs don't think that there would be somebody there. A little mind game, but down, caught on the fallback by Esperanto, who can't maintain for the second kill. So Borup still exists within the site, and a Molotov's gonna force his feet into the open, but that goes both ways. Still, he comes out on top. Emmy. ready to move forward through jungle. And the fact that that vent's not broken,
yeah, that works incredibly into the team's favor because the rotations are hampered. The threat of a ghost rotation is hampered. Yeah, and they don't even have to shoot out. They're even standing in front of it, so that's really beautiful. Yeah, Gideon's not going to be able to work with that whatsoever. On the A site, so much information was gathered. I actually think we didn't see how Esatag died, but he was in an awkward spot.
Was he in jungle?
Yeah, he was in jungle.
So that was Emmy's window boost, right?
Right. So they didn't have that. The problem for him is there's so many ways for him to die, and his teammates aren't helping him with his information. So sometimes you play outside of the site, quote unquote, when you're playing a retake spot. So you have like a teammate in CT, and in this situation they had one on default, but neither of those players could help out Esatag, and he was supposed to be connector and window.
Yeah.
So it made it really rough for him, but from CR4ZY's perspective, that's exactly where you want to have that CT. You want to have him on patrol and really worried about his back and his side and not really having cover.
100%.
So if they can try to isolate Esatag into that position again, or for whatever reason he ends up there, that's like a prime place to try to kill him.
Especially considering how much of a fake really was thrown in mid. You had that big wall of smokes, which could have been a cat play. Sure, Snappy figures out that it's not by taking a peek into it, but I love that. Boost Emmy in through your own smoke, and then just to the right of him, drop a Molotov. You know, give him an inch of safety to work with. He blindsides Esatag, who, as you said, is already concerned with 2 positions, let alone the fact that there's smokes, mollies, fake walls all over mid. Like, that was such a great puffing of the chest in middle. Could have been 3 players, could have been 4, but it was just 2 sneaky buggers to boost a man up mid.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing shades of Fur out here with the mid plays, the fast, aggressive ones. Lots of window control. And here we have the barrage of nades that come into B. We've seen this happen before. It's not always followed up with a rush. This is going to be one of those situations as well. Ston actually gets the kill on Esperanto. Emmy is sometimes to follow up. Here he is, just a bit further behind, and he'll get eliminated too. The late mid player comes through and makes up for it. Yeah, that's 2 kills he needed to grab, absolutely.
Considering how often Esperanto was taking early top mid duels, they tried to counter it clearly. They fall back from it, and then Otto grabs timing on them.
So now we have that kind of strategical reset. It's the mid round officially. 3 players to 3.
Yep.
The CTs will pick some spots. CR4ZY are going to make some assumptions about where those spots will be, but almost certainly it's going to be 1A, 1 mid, 1B. Now they have to decide, do we have enough nades to fake? Do we want to commit to the first site we go to? How confident are we to take a B? Because it seems like that's where they want to go.
CT-sided Krieg in position. Snappy using their own toys against them. Puts a smoke down on the Molotov. Plays inside of it still. He's going to be toppled immediately. Otto looking to lock off market before anybody else can get into the mix. Letney can keep his position back, as we do have 2 Ts down on bomb, but he comes to join them because the CTs are going to try to push their way outwards, and Letney has the attention of Sound. He's flanked by ships. That's perfect. Great post plant coming out of CR4ZY. Great mid round, like you said. That 3v3 default reset goes flawlessly for them.
Yeah, either site can be good. They actually had enough utility to threaten A as well. Sometimes you go B specifically because you have to, because you've only got 1 smoke and 1 flash. In this situation, they had a Molotov, a couple flashes of smoke to work with. They still picked B, and it seems like they have an affinity for it because there's been a few rounds they've started out with a high attention to that side of the map.
A 3v5, I believe.
Oh, because Otto gets
Otto's
the
2 kills top mid.
Yeah, technically speaking. Yeah, that was a very, very clean 3v5, and Otto is a key component because he picks up 2 trades. Certainly, Esatag should have got that kill on cap, but we all know how powerful the SG is right now, and that's definitely a boon for the T side. So we're going to have another pause come out. This is all of Heroic's pauses.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they definitely use their pauses, which is something you can't say for all teams. So it's just good that they are using them. Even if they go out early, it's for the sake of saving a half. If they can't make something out of this first half and they end up with 3 rounds, I mean, that's probably going to be a lost map like we saw on the last one with CR4ZY, obviously. Here we have that walk down mid, a pretty weird buy here for Heroic. They're doing what they can.
Trying to hang on for dear life. Few waning rounds left in the first half. Good smoke for Borup to try and get out of position. He'll swap over to the other corner. Gets cover. Chucks the frag back. And that's what softens up Esperanto for a 1/3 of his health. Shaved to 66. But he's got teammates near still.
Seems like they're actually worried somewhat about an A push. As you can see, ships just kind of inching forward. Something to be generally concerned about. But look at they're just kind of lining the perimeter of mid right now.
Yep. Playing the base. Trading that first casualty. We're near even keeled. Snappy's had a hard time getting the frags rolling. He's in an important position this round with players who are going to attempt to get past. There could be even the window boost within this mix. So he has to keep his eyes ready for that double kill immediately. There's the third, Snappy. How is he not cleared by ships?
Yeah, I don't even know how ships doesn't see him there or why he doesn't respond to the audio cue. That's very strange. Nice shot here for Letny. Gets traded out immediately. Heroic have nothing to worry about. Majority stay alive. That means they'll have the right guns that they want for next round, and they're definitely recovering this half. They're salvaging what's left of it, at least. They can potentially get 6 rounds. And you see a guy like this, he's like 1 in 9. It doesn't seem like he's going to be having a lot of confidence in a round like this, but you see how sharp he is. He's like, knocks down that 2K so easily. But once again, he looks at ships, you're like, how the hell does ships not even notice?
The only explanation is if Snappy is on the furthest back left corner, then Ships' position may not have had enough to see him. And you would have presumed if you can't see him with as much of that upper shelf that you have eyes on, he would have dropped down into catwalk.
It's more the audio that's kind of confusing, right? So
I don't know, maybe he's thinking a cat peek comes in?
Could be, yeah. Yeah, they definitely had 2 players there to try to trade, but
yeah. If Snappy runs out the door, maybe Ships finds him, but that's just weird.
Yeah,
a weird one.
Very weird one. Very weird one for sure.
But obviously one that Snappy will take with open arms. It's a great time for him to come alive.
Oh yeah, we take those.
Big play to keep Heroic on 4, and an optimistic 6 still on the horizon, perhaps.
Yeah, very optimistic, and in fact, Crazy already have their money broken. So Heroic have done a good job silently on rounds they've lost in chipping away at that money, chipping away at that bank. We're up close A ramp. We haven't really seen just kind of a full A execute like you normally see on Mirage.
Oh, flying Ships falls down. Emmy sprays through the tip of the smoke. Now, Esatag finds a roaming Opper easy, and a 4v2 unfolds. Heroic, sure, they've gotten out of ramp and Palace, but they haven't gotten the bomb recovered, nor have they taken control of site. Plenty of presence nearby here from Heroic. Cadian, most notably, with the scope already honed on site. Snappy here to help him. If Letny's not careful, he's going to walk right into that crosshair.
This will be more than difficult. Smoke goes up. Start counting, because once it's gone, you either got to get kills or the bomb down. Emmy drops an opportunity, but picks it up afterwards. This is a 2v4, and it's suddenly very realistic.
All of CT
Both players of CT are dead, and now Window is also gone. It's just Esatag.
That's so big, and now he takes the high road. Letny, he sees the shadow. A shoulder given, damage done. 3 kills for Emmy, and he's now come to support from spawn. A toe tap takes Letny to 1 HP, and he just can't get him off the site. Esatag, desperate to find this opening, so scared of a second peek, and they take it to him. Crazy, fine 10.
Wow. And yeah, Neil has arrived. He is very happy to have seen that. That is unbelievable. But that's a frag drop here. Emmy shoots early, still gets the kill, and his teammate on the site decides to peek. I think it was Cadian who's in CT spawn decides to peek site. Neither of those players were supposed to die.
Yeah.
They did a good job of trying to excavate that area of the map, but ultimately, at least one of them needed to stay alive, and it would have maybe not been clear to Crazy that there were 2 there in the first place, and then they could have potentially stopped a bomb plant.
Back-to-back rounds where the in-game leaders get such crucial multi-kills.
Oh, but you know what? They threw a CT smoke, too, so maybe Cadian just got blasted through the smoke. We don't know. But wow, look at this. Esperanto has made forward aggressive movement. Up connector into a kill and back out. 2 players have been escorted up cat. Haven't had to watch their back because of Esperanto's play. Bomb will be a little bit late, but it doesn't seem like the CTs are going to have the gall to peek.
We do still have this van commitment. UMP of Snappy. Letny just peels him back. Done. Down. Not able to do much with that SMG, but Borup gets into this somehow. He's going to even this out. I mean, we're looking at a potential 3v5, but back the other way. Cadian chucks the auto shotgun. Nabs an M4. Emmy, way ready for his arrival. That one done quick. So last round of the first half, CT's gonna have to come in with a desperate retake attempt. Only down left, MP9. Letney's gonna keep him pinned in here now that the flames have gone. They know exactly where he's at, so just like that, it's crazy 11-4. A hell of a showing on their map choice. They are mirroring heroic success, so let's bring it back after the break for another second pistol.
There's fire on the doorstep, searchlights in the hall. What a difference a day makes. Just to think that yesterday we had it all. Blame me for the sorrow and the dark clouds in the sky. You can say you're justified, I'll be your alibi. You can blame it all, you can blame it all, you can blame it all on me. You can blame it all, you can blame it all, you can blame it all on me. The sirens sang their warning. You just looked at me and laughed. Now I stand here in the ruins, all alone with just these faded photographs. Frame me for the murder of the love you sent to die. And I'll pretend I never tried. I'll be your alibi. You can blame it all, you can blame it all, you can blame it all on me. You can blame it all, you can blame it all, you can blame it all on me. I gave everything I had.
A killer performance from Ships, a player who never had space on map 1. Gush starts this so hot on Mirage, but it wasn't just him. Esperanto starts picking up fast entries top mid, and in the end of the first half, we've got CR4ZY sitting on a comfortable 11-4 lead. And Heroic's pistols throughout this event have been a talking point. So this would be a great chance for them to bring it back. We've already got that utility over to the A site. Ships ready. Who comes out from triple. Will just take one. Took a little bit of time. And the T's just flood to the site. Now this is near a mirror image of what we had first pistol. The big clash towards spawn. There's a flash for Emmy, and that's gonna help. One T pinned into the corner. A second one down. Otto and Letney making the most of that flashbang. Pushes Snappy into the site. Borup will maximize on the chance. Being defused, and it's CR4ZY with the second pistol. I'm telling you, Mo, we have to go to Inferno.
Yeah, it seems like we're on the way there. Yeah, I feel like this map is definitely far from over. Always looking forward to Heroic's T-sides, and everything is so fresh with them now. Like, no matter what map they play, I want to know what they can do. I want to know what Snappy has in store for them and us. And but for CR4ZY, they actually had a labored CT side versus Avangard, but it was good at the same time. Like, Avangard pushed them to their limits, and they still were able to come back and win the map when it got very close. So hopefully some of that practice will help them. But at the same time, Heroic were paying attention when they got to when CR4ZY were playing Avangard. So we'll see if that game tape helps them at all.
Mid for the taking. Catwalk in question. And Ships gets aggressive. Oh no. The scout player in Cadian gets pushed by an SMG. Not what he would have hoped for. So just like that, we're into the 4v4 once more. Esperanto has a lot of control on one extremity of the map, but Ships dies pushing Palace. If this play goes well for him, then he too can swing it into a more even ground.
Yeah. Whoa, they try to chase him down immediately. Just get rid of the threat. They do it. That's huge. But actually, Thon, oh my God, loses out. And he's not even worried about a second player. He just wants him to know, you don't cross this line. This is my side of the map.
Yeah. Who are you trying to chase?
Who are you trying to chase, buddy? You're in the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah. So Snappy has himself put through Palace. Bomb on his side. Letney could offer him a shot, but he ducks into the cover. And now Snappy's so worried about all the other potential peaks, but in being thorough, waiting, he's just buying time for the third CT to come join them. They throw out a flash, and he's going to try to challenge that. 2 CTs ready. Crazy. Easy 13th round.
Yeah, could have potentially made sense. A really difficult round, but ultimately crazy win with 3 at the end of the day. It looked like a round they could have lost. Esperanto saving grace, man. Look at this push. First of all, well-timed. Gets a kill, gets out. Recognizes where the next threat's coming to, and is still salient in that moment. Knows there's not even another player. Realizes he's basically won the round for his team. Is using those precious M4A1 bullets.
Yeah, you don't get many extra.
Yeah. Just to let them know. So we are on pistols for Heroic. They didn't get the pistol round this half. They didn't get the conversion either. All great signs, excuse me, for Crazy. The spread out quite sparsely across the map on the CT side. It's a conjunction of the CTs looking at the B apps where it seems like Heroic have the thought of testing, but we've also got 2 walking underpass where the CTs have congealed as well. Certainly not going to be an easy one. Already down 4v5. And I'm taking this eco round so seriously because you just can't let it become 14 for no reason. You can't just throw this round away and move on to a rifle round. There's a chance they can win this, and they probably will try their absolute hardest.
You don't work this hard to get into the grand finals of a $100,000 event and not make the most of a pistol. But regardless of how bad they want it, or how committed they try, they are still at such a huge disadvantage. Esperanto makes quick work of Snappy as he tried to creep his way up Cat. So they'll bring it back. Heroic with the bomb at the bottom of mid. Push down to the top of it, and Cadian takes the long road all the way through spawn. But Emmy's curious, and he should be. With a 5 versus 3, versus just pistols, you don't want to give up too much map control. You can't respect them all that much. And that's why Shift, once the gun rounds get rolling, is ready to clear them out. 14-4, a 10-round deficit, but at least 1 buy for Heroic on this T side.
So if there's something that they can do, we'll certainly find out now. Their ultimate strat, their Exodia, if you will.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to be showing all their trap cards. If they've got something to do, they're going to do it here on this T round, round 19. The one that could certainly decide it all. Esperanto extinguishing a flame inside of Connector, but only to have Seize pass just quite after. Letney behind him is going to help them out, and they shut down the aggressive play right away. It's also going to scare the T's because there's so much information they gave away. They can't train back either, and Emmy's already made his presence known in the B apps.
He should have seen that bomb. Doesn't swap to the Krieg. Ship still trying to contain the leakage in mid. They've let Estetag slip past, at least into the ladder room, but Bora, with all too much to do, dies to the MP9. And Estetag, occupied with other affairs, now finds himself alone. Tough luck, but not impossible.
Connor, the strat was far from foolproof though, right? Like they throw a Molotov into Connector and actually attempted to cross Cat. Not a deep smoke in Connector. I'm not sure if a top Connector smoke was landed or came close to landing.
But it wasn't there.
But it wasn't there, and so if you're gonna cross Cat that quickly, why aren't you expectant of either a window player to do something or a Connector player to do something, let alone the two? Plus, you saw Esperanto extinguish your Molotov.
Yep.
That lands at the bottom of Connector. So it seems like that was just a bad play, straight up. It didn't seem like it covered even the most basic of options.
You know, maybe the flashbangs were meant to do more. It's the only explanation, the only defense I can try and give them.
Yeah, no,
because if not, they were just way too optimistic that they'd get past for free.
Yeah, it could be it.
The strobe light doesn't work out. Emmy not gonna stick around in apps this time. Did a good job of playing close smoke, now plays close sight. Borfins down to the SMGs. will get bomb planted. It's simple. Get to B with everyone and smash your head through the wall.
Yeah, that ends up working out quite well. I mean, it's an easy situation to call a save. It seems like this cloud has a silver lining after all.
Yeah, and we saw this exact same thing happen on Nuke. You know, Heroic with such a huge lead, lost some quick entries, let the round slide, so what?
Yeah, no harm, no foul. And actually, some of these bonus kills could be really big. It's actually just bonus damage, so that equivocates to no impact, ultimately. Bomb's not going to blow anybody up. Ships and Auto will save their 2 guns. That's fine enough. Crazy, again, have so many rounds to work with. They're not worried at all. They're certainly in the mind space of thinking about Inferno and what that has in store for them as well. CT side Mirage, they've done it a million times. Heroic are going to be doing this, thinking every round on their T side and also thinking about the next map. But we'll give it a go. At least on the comeback, it's buy save for the other team, provided you keep winning. That's obviously a really important condition when you only have 0 rounds to lose.
Esperanto ready for the smoke push. Again, no flash here to try and make him uncomfortable. Even gets the assist. A snap flick down mid. 5 versus 2 with map 2 on the line. Cadian, who had an impeccable showing on Nuke, has nothing to say in this round. There is nothing he can do. Crazy, they took Nuke on the chin. They knew coming into this map that they had the advantage, and they show us why. Not just taking down Avant-Garde, but Heroic as well on Mirage. Their home turf, their map win, and now map 3.
That was confident. We've seen all the best series so far at Rotterdam end up the same way. Each team wins their map pick pretty confidently, look good where they're supposed to, and then we have a banger of a 3rd map on a map that doesn't get banned but left to the end of the veto, just as all good Counter-Strike best of 3 should go.
Yeah, exactly. And just as they always do, it of course lands on Inferno.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. We've had some really good map 3s throughout this weekend, and I know we have one more in store, but before we get into that last map, we're going to give this one back to Frankie.
Thank you very much, and I'm quickly going to toss it over to my analyst, because really, what can you say about that one? It was so one-sided, Potter.
It was, but I gotta say, that second half, I felt like Heroic may have postured for a comeback, but they only got 2 real gun rounds, and one of those 2 gun rounds, they had a missed smoke on that cat rush, and it just completely exposed them, giving Crazy side of things just free kills here and there. So a slight misstep on Heroic's step, and we haven't really seen that throughout this tournament, these kinds of missed smokes and missed plays coming out of Heroic. So that certainly came to bite them in the butt.
It could be a little bit of the pressure getting to them as well, because that CD side was rough indeed, right? They gave too much space for these guys to work with. If you look at the way Ships was playing, firstly, Ships, holy shit. Like, he really came up to play here. He woke up finally, and he was just dominating toward the mid area early on. Jungle was basically his domain, and they gave him too much of an easy access to that part of the map. They were able to boost it faster with the smoke, and by the time they countered him, he'd already gotten a couple of kills. And it felt like they were playing very too passively, Potter. They were playing to a CD spawn, playing right behind the murder hole, and even the B bomb site, the second they spotted players out, they were allowing the Ts to get out into the bomb site time and time again. And if you're going to allow that to happen, you need to have his crossfires ready and waiting. Instead, they kept getting picked apart one by one by one. Nothing really got going, but it's good to see that Crazy are still in the game.
I'm just curious, I'm just looking through their recent matches. I don't think Mirage is a map that Heroic have played much recently at all. In fact, a lot of the teams are not playing Mirage at the moment because the rumor seems to be that Mirage is going to get rotated out of the map pool for cash. So suddenly, actually, some of the teams are probably dropping the ball with this map in particular. I don't know if Crazy were thinking about that when they picked the map today.
Well, I mean, it is a map that does favor more explosive playstyles, right? Like, once upon a time, it is a map, I mean, it was a map which allowed for star plays to really pop off. And considering Mirage has been in the map for forever, everyone's kind of figured out how to play this map. So when the edge comes down to how aggressive you are, how you're feeling at the moment, I don't want to throw around these cliches, but that's what happened over there. We saw them kind of turning into a juggernaut, which kind of became unstoppable at one point for Heroic.
Exactly, and of course it helps when Ships hits the fan and Esperanto also shows up, and it certainly made things a lot easier for Crazy. I don't think, however, going into Inferno as that classic 3rd map, it's going to be as one-sided as we saw on Nuke and Mirage. It's certainly going to be a lot closer, and I'm excited to see what Heroic do to counter Crazy back.
Well, we've got a little bit of time, so let's look forward to Inferno. Obviously, we've been seeing Crazy play a lot of this map, Heroic 2. It is going to be a close one, surely, Blair.
It will be a close one indeed, right? For Heroic, they're going to be a little worried about that loss they had against Force, which is a very close affair as well. But I think Inferno has been a pretty good showing from them, all things considered. They beat Avangard on it as well. And for Crazy, they need to be a little bit more proactive, right? If it comes to structure and the way Heroic play Inferno, it's more about timing the smokes, right? They use the utility so damn well, even to the very last second. And for Crazy, they need to try and exploit their explosiveness, so to speak. They need to be a little bit more gimmicky. They need to be a little bit more aggro, and they need to sometimes mind game Heroic a little bit. I think that's their win condition. And for Heroic, it's sticking to the textbook and just basically throwing the textbook at their face.
Definitely throwing the textbook at their face. I think Crazy are going to have to be careful about Stavin. We saw him towards that middle window room area consistently lurking while the rest of the Heroic members are towards that banana, applying that pressure, drawing out the utility. And during all this time, Stavin is just looking for that timing, looking for that opening so that he can bring all of his mates back over. What Heroic does really well on this map, I think, is not running into those stacks, not running into those gimmicky plays. So I agree with you, Crazy are going to have to be proactive and stop Heroic's movements before they even begin.
Well, there's just one more map before we crown our DreamHack Open Rotterdam champion. Rotterdam, are you with us? Well, we'll find out who's going to take it after the break.